it's sure as fuck not okay to piss on the face since you feel with intoxicants. And it's not okay if we live in a town that doesn't align with the victim. That's when we pack a motherfucking bag, son, and we switch up our microsystem. Cause that's some caveman shit, that's some caveman shit. Yo, me and my fam, we above that shit. That's some caveman shit, that's some caveman shit. Yo, me and my fam, we evolve from that shit. You'll follow what I say. Better mind how I'm gonna speak, cause I know you'll follow what I say. Don't matter what I give you to eat, I know you'll swallow what I say. Much better to let you feed.
Well, that was some boring music.
Spike?
Come on, where's the Justin Bieber? Where's the Katy Perry? Where's the Fall Out Boy?
Noddle, you have witch powers. Turn him into a chipmunk and feed him to the owl outside.
I will do no such thing. We're here to talk about our website.
HomeCanineNeutering.com?
What?
No! InvaderPet.com, where people can check out our comic strips or locate bookstores selling bookmarks with our comics on them. So, listeners, want to see comics of me, Noddle the Witch, my pets Kaylee Cat, and Spike Beagle? Go to InvaderPet.com and check us out.
Seriously, though, you guys really have a canine neutering website?
In the past 12 months, almost 500,000 Australian women reported that they had experienced sexual or physical abuse in their homes. As of September 24, 2015, 63 women have died. This fact appears at the beginning of the new music video for the song Mayfair by Winter's End of Sydney, Australia. Wednesday, April 20th, on Let's Talk About the Music, we'll talk with the band about domestic violence. Tune in from 8 p.m. to midnight Pacific Standard Time to listen and chat live.
Let's Talk About the Music is wanting your sponsorship to advertise on the show's podcast. Anyone, anywhere in the world can advertise. We're especially looking for small businesses, event and festival coordinators, and venues. For pricing and special offers, go to letstalkaboutthemusicblog.wordpress.com. Join us April 13th on Let's Talk About the Music when the Action Adventure Circus Super Geek League will be talking everything geek. Find out why they are the most unique performance group in the Pacific Northwest. Also on the show co-hosting will be myself, character voice actor and vocal impersonator Ty the Voice Guy. All this and more April 13th starting at 8 p.m. on Let's Talk About the Music.
All right, let's talk about the music. That's right. Super Geekly is going to be here next Wednesday. Cannot wait to talk to them. Yay! Which me and Johnny Sonic's kind of part of the band. And tonight we're talking to Johnny Sonic, of course, which I just mentioned, and also my new co-host, Greg, also known as Spider in the Hall.
Yes. We're all having a good time.
Yes.
Very good time.
Indeed.
Now whoever is playing the show on their speaker, whatever it is, kind of turn it down because echoing throughout the station. Just let you guys know. Through my headphones, and it echoes throughout the whole broadcast. Awesome.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right, so we are getting ready to segue into activism. Is that what you guys were talking about backstage?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Greg, you started that, so take it away.
Well, since we're talking about not only just politics in general, but political activism, music, of course, can be used for to promote causes or promote social movements. Some of the big ones, of course, was Live Aid, which was in 1985. had a lot of big name artists involved, all doing various smaller concerts on their own, but also they all collaborated on at least one song together that was videotaped and put on cable television at the time, and it was to benefit Africa. Let me see if I can find the specifics here. My memory on it was a little out of sorts on it, but it was on a famine that was going along in 1984, and so they're trying to raise money for that. A lot of various big name celebrities were involved with that. There was also, of course, Rock the Vote is a big one. That's real common right now. They've done at least one. I think they might have done two, trying to get young people involved in the voting process. And it just goes to show how music as a whole can be used not necessarily to advance an agenda, but to be a mover and shaker of social change, of positive things happening in society today, and in helping people rather than just spreading criticisms or opinions.
Yeah, indeed, and that's an important point to make, because sometimes you're going to get a bunch of angry people involved and say, stop this, stop that, which is a good thing on its own, but it's also sometimes good to just say, hey, let's help these folks out, and it's like those things that you just mentioned did exactly that.
Mm-hmm. Another big one, of course, 1971 concert for Bangladesh with George Harrison, Bob Dylan, Eric Clapton. Again, to benefit people who were impoverished, who may not have been noticed by the quote-unquote civilized world, as I like to say, if some of these artists hadn't pointed them out to us necessarily.
And on top of that, there were probably killer shows.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely.
It would have been great. Would have been great to see any of those. I didn't.
Going back to briefly about Rock the Vote. Rock the Vote was a very popular back when I was a teenager, trying to get teenagers be aware to you're coming of age and please vote. Your vote is actually very important on everything that you do. And a lot of people didn't really understand that you do have a voice when you hit yes or no to a certain thing. And Rock the Vote was trying to use musicians and other celebrities to influence people to vote.
Yeah, and the read between the lines thing of that is that usually younger folks tend to be a little bit more liberal, and they tend to usually go towards the Democratic Party more than the Republican Party. So when you get younger people to vote, it's usually more of a pushing for the Dems as opposed to the Republicans, which is why a lot of the Republicans really don't like the Rock the Vote thing, because I don't think any Republicans are rocking the vote.
No.
Probably not. No. Another thing also along the same topic is they can also do these large benefits for things a little closer to home. Like, for example, in 1992, they did the tribute concert for Freddie Mercury. And it was for AIDS awareness, because of course that's what took Freddie Mercury from us, and so the concert was not necessarily just a celebration of who he was as an artist, but also to bring awareness to, hey, this is a serious thing, and if it can hit somebody at this peak, at this iconic level, it can hit anybody.
Mm-hmm. I think if I remember correctly, Rock the Vote kind of went not just here in the States. If I remember correctly, it went all through the world when people were actually voting for whatever it was even out there in like the Russian. I think. But don't quote me on that one. I think.
Well, there was a lot of that kind of thing happening in several of the Middle Eastern countries fairly recently that were introduced to democracy, although a lot of that has kind of gone the opposite direction since, so it's hard to say how much of a real impact that made. It certainly made an impact at the time, but as far as a lasting impact, it's hard to tell, at least from where we are looking into that area of the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I know when the AIDS broke out back in the days, that was a benefit thing too, to raise money to try to find a cure for it.
Yeah, that was a part of that Freddie Mercury tribute concert, was to definitely raise awareness, AIDS awareness. You get a lot of that now, of course, for there's like breast cancer benefits. There's all sorts of things. Johnny, of course, here was just telling us about you said on the 9th you have a benefit show coming up.
Yeah, indeed. It's a real nice organization here in Seattle here. It's the AAHC is the acronym. It's basically an organization that is put together to provide alternative health care for folks who are homeless or of low income. And it's a really nice organization. A nice woman named Amber West reached out to the band and wanted to see if we could play, and of course we did, because we talk about that kind of stuff all the time. So about 100% of the proceeds are going to be going to that. All the bands are playing for free, and we'll be selling some merch and donating it, and everyone will be giving some donations. And it'll be at the High Dive in Seattle this Saturday, April 9th, and we'll be playing with Clayton Ballard and the Unkindness, as well as Butt Dial, and also the Filthy Femcore Marching Band, which is Seattle's one and only all-female marching band. Cool. So the four of us bands are going to be getting together. We're going to be doing some duets together and having a good night. And a lot of people should be coming out to that. And High Dive is not a big place, so hopefully we'll fill it up and we'll raise some money for them. And so it was an honor to be asked to do it, and I'm really looking forward to the show. I think a lot of people are coming to the show that it's interesting, because usually you advertise shows and say, hey, come watch us play, buy the tickets. But here we can advertise the show to say, like, hey, help donate towards this cause. All the proceeds will go towards it. So people will be coming out from different kind of walks of life, in a sense, where they're not necessarily maybe fans of the band, but support their organization and support the idea behind it. Because it's not as big as like something like AIDS awareness with Freddie Mercury and things. But the things that it affects, it affects a lot of the people that it affects is it's really good for those folks. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's
that is a big problem these days too. That there's an awful lot of homelessness across the U.S. right now. Awful lot of it.
Mm-hmm. Right, and yeah, once you get in, and then a lot of times there's money being raised for food and shelter and things. But then a lot of these folks don't have health care. And they also don't have like an alternative healthcare, like they don't have options for things like homeopathic medicine or massage or anything like that, or things that you wouldn't think that that would be on the priority list per se for like a homeless person. But it makes them feel human again, and I think that was the thing that resonated with me the most, is that every human deserves the right to feel like a human. You know what I mean? And not just feel like they're brushed aside. And I think that's what the I tried to say the acronym because they all sound the same. AAHC. I think that's what they do for their clients. Is they just they make humans feel like humans, and I think that's a really important idealism that we don't have around, or ideology that we don't have around these days. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm very happy to be a part of it. So come support Saturday, April 9th at the High Dive in Fremont in Seattle. And all the bands are awesome too. I mean, hey, Johnny Sonic will be playing too. It's gonna be a good night.
Yeah, it sounds like a good night. I wish I could be able to be up there, because bummed out I can't get up there. Yeah. So, all right. So we're gonna go into segue into your music. Oh, there's a plane going by. That was very loud. But I have one of your songs called "Buy Everything." I don't really know it will segue into your charity benefit, but. This is,
yeah,
but you did say
that'll work just good. That's just it's not necessarily, like you said, we're talking about activism and music, and this is my little rebuttal against consumerism. I always like to put the video out on Black Friday when everybody goes to the store and gets all their credit cards out. So this song is kind of about like lots of stuff that they're telling us to buy, and do we really need all that stuff? So the title "Buy Everything" is definitely sarcastic and tongue in cheek.